my God! Okay, it's happening.
What is...
Oh my goodness.
What's the procedure?
Oh my
Ah.
god.
That is so scary that's
Oh,
happening.
Jesus.
What, you might ask you, Daniel, what is happening?
Podcast number 4.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to podcast number 4. Today I'm your host, as always, along with Daniel.
Yep. Here we are.
So, what's new? It's been a solid 2 days since this last one went up, and I feel like we've just been getting after it and haven't had a lot of time to just sit back, relax, really look at what's going on here.
Right. I mean, I've been doing a lot of homework, so that's pretty much what I've been up to.
Yeah. So in the last podcast, we discussed these big projects that we have going on, and we were not kidding. We got some fat lists. Tomorrow's advisement day for our college, so we gotta run around to some stuff there. We're in a league for cornhole. That's fun, stuff like that.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. That's starting Tuesday? Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. That should be a good one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'm an expert cornholer myself.
Are you actually? Because you keep saying that, and I am actually. I don't want to brag or anything, but I am very good at cornhole.
I would say I'm good at cornhole too. I'm not sure how good you are.
I'm not sure how good you are either. I feel
right. Maybe I don't know. Can we go a practice run? I mean, I'm definitely better after I warm up.
I'm sure there's a warm up little time. It's an intramural league, so they take
high
things
stakes,
pretty seriously.
A lot of betting.
How many bags do you get in the hole per round, would you say?
What is there, 4 bags?
Okay, so you don't even know how many bags there are.
Okay, well, you don't have to know how many bags there are.
You should.
Oh, how many bags are there then?
There's 4.
Okay, so that's actually what I said.
You asked that.
I asked a clarifying question so that I wouldn't sound stupid. I was like, all right, so you take all 8 bags, and technically there's 8, but I would say at least 1.
Oh, okay. So that's not too bad then. I would say I'm around 1 or 2 as well. So we don't know. I mean, we're in Wisconsin, so
yeah, the air pressure is different here.
The fact,
so
it's a Midwest state. Beer is in high demand here. People are good at cornhole and drinking beer. So I would be kind of concerned if we were to walk out there and there was some dude standing in a flannel shirt with a trucker hat on and a mullet.
Yeah.
Some jeans, maybe some cowboy
I would
boots.
be worried about that if we were up against him.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's gonna be kind of dangerous in the field.
A seasoned pro.
Yeah, for sure. And they have these 2-sided bags. I think I already told you about this, but
yeah, I've never heard about this. This is very interesting.
In professional cornhole, they have these 2-sided bags. One side is a swab that really grips the board, and then the other side is a nylon kind of slick thing, so it slides further. And depending on what you're trying to do, where was I trying to knock somebody else's bag off the board, I would throw with the nylon side down so that I could get some velocity on it. Otherwise, if I was trying to just land it and have it just stop on the board like that, then I would probably go with the suave to make sure it sticks where I want it to.
I don't know about you guys, but to me that seems like pansy cornhole. You just have one side. If you're good at it, if you're good at the game, you'll make it stick there, or you'll knock somebody else's off. But if you're bad at the game, you need to have 2 sides. It's like training wheels almost.
Every set of equipment for a cornhole match is different, as you come to find very quickly in this line of work. Have a couple boards here and there. Have one at the cabin, that's older and a little bit. It's got some very powdery bags that once you get maybe 3 or 4 tosses in, the whole board is covered in a very thin coat of powder, and it just slides everywhere. So you really got to get some air on it.
Yeah.
Whereas the ones that we have at my home are a little bit nicer, and they have those specific bags for that don't just spew powder everywhere. It's really nice.
Yeah, I bet.
It's super slick.
Or grippy. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Lawn games have always been kind of a thing for my family and I.
Well, if you're good, then the games are going to be long.
Yeah, right.
Or are you just saying like
lawn games?
oh, lawn
like
games?
Yard
I thought you said
games.
long
No,
games. Like
no.
the game is that time-wise,
No.
it's taking a long time.
Yard games, badminton. You know, you said you played badminton before.
Well, everybody has.
Like in like a.
I mean, in gym class, we'd play badminton.
okay.
I guess we also have badminton at our house.
I was
too,
actually
that we
on the
could-
badminton team at
Oh wow!
my high school.
I don't even think that was an option.
It was only there for a year, but I was a part of it. We didn't go anywhere else. We just played each other. But you know, you know, you got. You ever heard of Cube?
Cube. I have not heard of Cube.
Cube is a Norwegian game, and what you do is each side. There's 2 teams. Each side has 5 or 6 like blocks of wood. I can't remember if it's 5 or 6, and you stack them along this line.
No way.
Yeah,
I've heard of this game before.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. We didn't know what it was called.
You get 3 dowels, which are just basically like
Yes, I've heard of
like
this
circular
game before.
sticks or spherical sticks, cylindrical, and you get 6 of these things, and you throw them from behind your line at the other side. First one to knock down all 6 wins. When one falls on your side, when one gets knocked down, you have to toss it across this midline of the field.
Isn't there like a king or something?
Yeah.
There's a middle.
Yep. So you have to knock down yours. You have to knock down the one that the other team knocked down first, and you threw over the midline
I
before
can see
you
how
can
this
go
can be very
for
confusing.
Yeah.
If you don't have these visuals that you created.
right. I'm sure this isn't making very much sense, but
Anyways, it's a very fun game. I played it at a grad party, and we were very confused on what the name was, and I'm not even sure if we were playing it right, but that was definitely that game, and it was actually very fun.
it is very fun, and you just have to make sure you don't get smacked in the shins.
Yeah,
you
that was
guys-
actually a problem.
Were you playing helicopter, or were you playing the right way?
We didn't know that there was a right or wrong way,
Okay,
so I
'cause
guess
you
we were
can't-
playing.
You can't toss the 6
Okay, we were
sideways.
definitely doing helicopter.
Okay,
then.
that's illegal.
Well, no one
Um,
told us the rules.
Well, in my
Put it on the
family, lawn games are taken seriously. You've heard of Can Jam, obviously.
No.
Really? Can Jam, okay.
Can Jam.
So, it's just basically 2 cans, like trash can sized cylinders with a hole in the top and a slit in the front. And there's 2 of these things. And you line up like you would for cornhole with your teammate, and you throw a frisbee.
Is that?
And your teammate can assist it in to get a certain amount of points. If you make it in the front,
Like
you
a
either
bucket.
win or yeah, pretty much. So like if you land it into the top of the container without your teammate touching it, then it's I think 3 points or something. If they tap it so that it goes in, it's 2 points. If you hit the front, it's 1 point. Stuff like that. If it goes right through the slit, you either win the game, or some people play where it's just 10 points. And all these games are to 21,
Right.
which is nice.
Pretty standard yard game.
Bocce ball we
Yeah,
played.
yeah, played bocce.
Stuff like that. Did you ever play like Ultimate Frisbee? I
Yeah.
know that. Were you
Oh.
ever in like a youth group?
No, but we would always play it at recess in middle school.
Wow. That's
So
pretty
that was
cool.
really fun, yeah. I'm not too bad at it. I can throw the frisbee pretty far.
You got like different grips that you use when you're throwing?
You got your like
the forehand,
backhand.
backhand.
Yeah.
You got like the hammer, the over the head one.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
The chicken arm.
Chicken arm.
Yeah, so you fold your arm around into like the shape of a chicken. Like the I don't want to be a chicken, I want to be a duck, like
Yeah,
that
right,
shape.
right.
And then you flick it around the top of your head and you release the frisbee, and then like you look like Captain America. It's kind of sick. But yeah,
Wow.
I used to be really into that. Used to play that a
I
lot
wonder,
outside.
do they have ultimate frisbee here? Because that would be a very fun thing to do.
I'm sure they do. I think I've seen it. I mean, obviously not this year, but
Right. Well, if it ever opens up, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Next year, I'm sure we could probably get onto a team if we were trying. We have to find more people to be friends with first, which would be kind of difficult at this point. But, yeah, I don't know. We used to just play it a lot, and like I was like in a youth group as a kid, and it was just a cheap game to play.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
You just
so
have a frisbee, and that's
it. Yeah, I think that's why a lot of college people like it so much.
Usually there's a place to play it, some kind of field somewhere.
Right. So, yeah, you were never part of a youth group?
Youth group, like
Like a youth ministry group, like
No.
a youth minister, no?
Nope.
Yeah. It's basically like just a bunch of young religious folk in a group, just going out and doing stuff together.
Yeah.
My church had one when I was younger. I'm not sure if it's still a thing there or not, but shout out to my youth group from when I was a youngin'. That was pretty nice. You meet a lot of people that way. Everybody's so friendly. That's what I remember. Like,
Yeah.
you walk in and everybody's like, "Hey, what's up? So you're like, Christian too? Oh, that's sick. Like, you want to be friends?" And I'm like, "Sure, I guess. I don't even know who you are."
Well, they want you to join their group. It's not like they're gonna be mean to you or whatnot.
I guess, but the kindness never fades, I think, which is nice. It's a very welcoming environment for the most part,
I have a potential transition.
What's that?
When I was at recess one day, we were playing football, and one of my friends at the time, who turned out to be the quarterback for the football team, he was a quarterback when we were playing, and I was a wide receiver, of course. And I was running, and I turned around, looked back at him, and as I was turning my head back to see where I was running, I smacked right into a tree. And this was the largest tree in the playground. It had like 4 different stems off this tree, just a huge stump. And I was knocked out. I hit the tree. Don't remember falling over. I woke up, I was on the ground, and everybody was around me. And of course, I stood up real fast, and then the bell rang, so it was time to go in. And one of my best friends, he was like, "How many fingers am I holding up?" And of course, he was like, 11. It was duh. That was the obvious answer. And no, it was 2, I believe. And so we went around business as usual because I answered that question correctly. And then later in technology class, we were on our computers and our desktops. That's how old it was. Not even like Chromebooks or anything.
Right. It was like those big fat.
Yeah. I think it was in like 5th grade, 4th grade maybe. But so you can't even remember. That's how not good it was. No, but I saw like circles forming on my in my vision. Like there was like these. They would just form, and so I went to the nurse, and she said I had a fever, and it was just.
Jeez, you hit that tree hard, huh?
Yeah, I went got a CT scan after, because I went home and concussed, and I had to stop playing soccer, but all because I just nailed a tree at recess.
Yeah. Looking at a screen after you get concussed is not good for you at all. That's like terrible.
Yeah.
But
so that was like
I've always heard the recovery for those is like you don't read, you don't
yeah, there's like
look
nothing.
At screens, you don't really want to sleep too much.
I mean, luckily I didn't have a phone back then. I mean, nobody really did. So that looking at the screens wasn't really the big issue. I guess maybe TV, but it was just like you can't do anything that would use your brain really that much.
Or did you just like draw and stuff?
I don't remember what I did. It was a lot of just like sitting around. I think.
That's so terrible. I am not looking forward to that if that ever happens.
Yeah.
I've never been concussed before, but I do remember like me and Daniel both went to private schools as kids, and there's always just like this one big ass tree, that's probably been there for like 80 years.
Yeah, it just got chopped down recently.
It's just a thing at Catholic schools. That's just what they do. And I remember our computer lab too. Now that you mention it, it was just these giant like boxy computers.
Yeah.
And like your teacher's just like trying to teach you how to do stuff.
Yeah, you were learning like PowerPoint or something.
Yeah, and it's like I'm in 3rd grade. Why am I learning?
Yeah, we had these like books, and they were full of like tasks we had to do.
Really? I didn't have that. But
so it's like the thing was that you would try to make your screen look exactly the same as what they were showing on this book. And so then the teacher would like grade you on how good it was and like how much it was or how similar it was. And that was weird. We only did that for a little bit. I have no idea what we did in technology class except for those things, and we didn't even do them for that long. Did
you guys have like gym and music every other day?
Yeah, we had gym started. It was like it kind of switched around, but I think it ended up being like 2 times a week, maybe 3 for gym, and then music was like twice a week probably.
I remember us just having a very weird schedule.
Yeah,
Like we'd have like a certain we had certain classes that were like every day, and then like every other day would be like music or gym, and then like Thursdays we'd have technology.
The same thing. There wasn't.
It was just
It was
really
a
strange.
day by day. It was a different schedule, but it was like consistently strange.
You'd wake up in the morning and be like, "Yes, I have gym today. Let's go."
Yeah,
Can't wait to
yeah. Gym class was the best.
until probably like 7th and 8th grade, and you're actually like, "Okay, I'm getting sweaty and kind of gross.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
This isn't fun anymore.
Yeah,
I just
it
kind
was
of
like-
feel weird."
You're running outside. It's hot. You're all sweaty, and then
Yeah.
you go put on your like.
Your,
We had
did
like
you have
uniform.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
You go put that on, and then you're just like, man, now I'm kind of just gross and hot and sweaty.
So our
Now for-
uniforms. Sorry, what?
No, I was gonna say now for math class,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. So our uniforms. You said you had khaki pants too.
yeah, we had
Yeah.
blue, dark blue, and or khaki,
Oh God. Yeah.
and
So
white shirts.
It was like every 2 grades, your uniform would change slightly for us.
Wow.
The girls were a little bit more drastic, but the guys would have like navy pants until like 6th grade, and then you get back, and then you switch to khaki, and then like your like shirt color I think would change too.
Wow.
So like we had
Bougie.
like these like dark green and white shirts. Like you could pick which one, and they were like banded bottom. And yeah. Did you guys have like shoe regulations? Like, that you couldn't-
I'm sure we did. I always wore like your standard tennis shoe, so I didn't have to worry about it. But I'm pretty sure there's like no flip flops or something like that.
Yeah, I suppose we probably had something like that too, like no open-toed stuff.
Yeah.
We had these, me and like one of my buddies back when I was younger, in like maybe 7th or 8th grade. We had these matching shoes. They were like LeBron like Soldier 7s or something like that. And at the time, I thought they were the slickest shoes I ever owned. They had like this weird like splotched like blaze orange like top coat, and then they had like these weird like spiky lines on the sides, and it just looked so ugly. But I would wear those every day with this super like modest uniform. And they had like these obviously they had rules for girls that they didn't have for us, you know?
Right,
So
right.
like they would have like, you can't wear a skirt that like isn't like a hand size above your kneecap. You know,
I
you,
thought
like,
it
place your
always
hand
was
above your
like
knee.
it can't be past your past your fingertips, like up.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like
It was always, and the girls would always just complain.
Yeah. I
So
remember
you'd like see them like rolling up their like skirts so that they
Protest.
Were, like, just, yeah. And it was like, what do you just wear this skirt, you know?
Yeah. Going back to the uniforms, and up until 5th grade, you had to wear blue, like the dark blue pants, navy pants. And then when you were in 5th through 8th grade, then you had the choice of either wearing the navy pants or the khakis. And that's when my love for khakis blossomed.
Really?
And that's why I'm wearing them right now. Very nice.
So
Would recommend.
What color were the shirts?
They were so when we started, it was just white, and then like a white like polo had like 3 buttons up top.
Yeah. And you'd always leave the top one on.
Yeah,
button.
well, you're right, unless you're trying to choke yourself.
Would you wear a bottom, like a undershirt?
No.
I would.
Well, I would always wear. So then we had our white shirts, and we had a choice. There was like this navy blue sweatshirt, so you have the navy blue and the navy blue pants when you were younger. That was real nice. But then we also had a service sweatshirt. So if you did like 40 hours of 40 service hours, you get a sweatshirt that was like had something on it, but it was like your service sweatshirt. So it was like you could wear it whenever you wanted. It said like the name of the school on it. But I would always wear the sweatshirt, the t-shirt, well, not the t-shirt, the polo, and then the khakis. So
Yeah, when I first started at my school, we had these like dandelion orange or yellow, shirts. And it just looked so bad with these navy pants. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but it just looked terrible. And you'd have to keep them tucked in. So they switched to these banded bottoms when I was probably in like 7th grade. But before that, they were just tuck-in shirts.
Yeah.
So like probably like 20 times a day, you get reminded to tuck in your shirt.
Yeah,
like,
that's the
up
same
through 3rd
thing.
grade.
Yeah, they were always like tucking your shirts, and there was always that one kid who would never have his shirt tucked
Yeah.
in. You're like, damn it, Ashton. That was the name actually. But so when I was in kindergarten, I'm wondering, when you put on your snow pants when you're in kindergarten, did your pants just travel up your leg? Did that ever happen?
I would assume so. I mean, I don't distinctly remember thinking, wow,
I
this is
remember it, but it was like everyone would put on their snow pants, and then you'd have to like work on putting your pants down your leg because they just got all the way up to your knee. So what I did one day was I tucked my socks or my pants inside my socks, and I went to school like that so that when I would put my snow pants on, and this was in the winter, of course, when there was snow, then I wouldn't have to worry about adjusting my pants so that they weren't halfway up my leg. And so then next day, a couple more kids are doing the same thing. I got like almost the whole class to tuck their pants inside their socks just so that they wouldn't have to ride up their leg.
Wow.
And I felt like a pro. I'm like, I could put into business. But
Yeah.
I don't know, that was just kind of
I used to ride
something.
I used to ride the bus home, and before we
Bus guy. Wow, I never rode the bus.
it was not very
As a
enjoyable
kid,
for me.
personally,
They're like,
so
he's gonna get all cold and stuff. So
Right,
make
and
him,
kids were stupid, so.
yeah, you make them put their snow pants on so they don't forget it, and your boots and your jackets and whatever. As a bus rider, you get on the bus. You're fine when you're outside, because you're like, oh, it's kind of cold out. Once you get on the bus, I would just like get hot. It was terrible. I would get so hot on the bus, and it was probably like honestly 40 minutes of sitting on this bus.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like the last stop. I remember the first day I was on this bus, I started crying because I thought I missed my stop. I was like, is it too late? And she's like, no, you just at the end. And I was like, oh, okay.
My stop was the first one always.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I wish.
So I only went on the bus like maybe 3 times in K through senior year of high school. So yeah, I don't have much experience with the bus. But yeah, it was the first stop. So I'd get on and I'd watch all the other like go off into their weird paths, and mine would just go right to my house. That was kind of huge, personally.
I rode the bus until like maybe 4th grade, a little bit earlier than that maybe, and then I began riding again my freshman and sophomore year, maybe a little bit of my junior year too.
Really?
Yeah, because I just didn't really have like another way home necessarily, which it's kind of strange now thinking about like riding the bus when you're in high school,
Yeah.
It just seems like it wouldn't really be the case, but I mean, I don't know what else a kid would have done.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, when I was like an actual child, like 3rd grade or whatever, what I would do when I got on the bus, I would like strip out of my snow pants and then just like tuck them in my backpack, because otherwise I would like literally be getting nauseous. What I would do is I'd put my face against the window and just like and just like pray to God that I didn't get sick before my bus stop came. And then I never actually like threw up or anything, but it was never super comfortable for me. And I remember when I finally stopped riding the bus, it was because of an incident that happened on the bus.
Really?
So this girl, like, from behind me, like, threatened me with like a pencil sharpener or something.
Goodness.
And I was like,
Took the blade off.
what is going on? Like, I don't even understand what's happening.
I have no beef with you, man.
And I told my mom about it, and she was like, oh, you're not riding the bus anymore. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's kind of a similar situation for why I never rode the bus. It was because my mom had a terrible experience with the bus when she was younger, because she always had to take it. And so she didn't make us go through that, I guess you could say. But, I mean, I'm sure there was...
It really wasn't that traumatic, I don't think. I was just, like, kind of confused. I didn't really understand what was happening at the time. So, yeah. I wasn't in... You said you were in kindergarten when you were at this private school of yours?
Yeah, preschool, actually. Preschool.
Really? You
to
started in
8th grade.
preschool? Wow, that's impressive. My sister did that. I went to a public school, actually, for the first... for kindergarten.
How was that?
I guess it wasn't that great because I left. I don't really remember the way that it went down, but my mom would tell me that like I would come home crying every day. So
Wow.
must not have been that great. And I remember getting there in first grade, and there was one other new kid, and like everybody was like, "Whoa, who's the new guys?"
Right.
And then the rest is history.
Who's the new kid? Let's bully him.
No, they were like, "Oh, you're so cool and tall and stuff," and I was like, "Yeah, it's whatever." Did you guys have cards, like pulling cards,
Pulling cards in.
like for punishment?
Well, that's another thing. I guess we started with having what I remember, it was like there was like a light, like a street light. No.
Oh yeah, the
There's, like-
soundometer. Like
No.
that would like
We had like cards, and so all of us, we started in the green. Well, let me explain
okay,
it.
go ahead.
We started in the green, and if you did something bad, she would say, "Go move your card from the green to the yellow," and it was like on this. You'd have to step on this chair to reach your card, so everybody saw. You'd have to change your card. It was very dramatic, and I remember this one day, my teacher, she was not having a good day. Everyone was getting yelled at, and I don't know what I was doing, but no, I actually know exactly what I was doing. I was like, we're doing stations, and so in between my station, I had this like dirty tissue, and I was bouncing it in my hand, like trying to keep it up in the air as long as I could, and turns out that's not what she wanted us to do. So she was like, "Go move your card from the green to the yellow." And of course, this is the first time I ever moved my card because I was a good boy, and so everybody was just watching me like, "No, they got him
man.
too." It was bad. All I remember is me hitting that tissue in my hand, like in a circle around, just trying to keep up the air. And then next thing you know, I'm just moving card from green to yellow. It was just, oh my goodness.
So we had something kind of like that. Everybody had like their own. It was like a slot holder almost. You ever seen like the phone holders that like some teachers will have? There's just like or like a calendar that you like hang on the wall, and you like put the numbers into like the top of it.
Yeah.
So we'd have one of those, and then you'd have a name on each of the little slots, and then in the slots there would be a green, a yellow, and a red card. Ooh. Which is basically the same thing as yours. You just go pull a card. You're like, oh, okay, and you'd go and do it. I remember a couple of just like every year I would like let myself get to oh no, I'm sorry. So it was green, yellow, orange, red.
Oh, okay, wow.
So I remember like I would have this rule: once a year I was allowed to go to orange, and I stuck by that rule until the cards were gone. And this one time, this was second grade. I remember exactly what happened. I was playing floor checkers.
Yeah,
with
that was fun. I was the best. But
with this girl in my class, and I just look up at her, and I fart, and I start pushing it and blowing it towards her across, and she just gets up and runs away screaming.
Oh, geez.
And then I turn to my friend and I go, "Hey, I just farted and blew it in her face." And my teacher just immediately just says, "Ethan, go pull a card." And I'm like, "Oh,
dang,
shoot, I almost got away with it." I got in a lot of trouble one day, actually. I remember this too. So this was third grade, and third grade was a little bit of a troublesome year for me, I think.
Really?
Yeah. So I made a joke. One that was not very well taken. It was a joke about Jesus.
Oh, yeah, at your Catholic school. That's smart.
Yeah, I said, "Hey," and I must have like said this to like my partner in like a project or something, and we were at like little like squads, so there were like four of us, and you have like a partner, it's like two, and I said like, "What did Mary say when she changed Jesus's diaper?" You know what she said?
What, like, holy crap?
Yeah, she said, "Holy crap." And one of the girls at my group did not like that joke at all. And I flipped to orange because of that, I think.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, I remember working with a group. I would always get paired up with the worst group mates. And there was always the good kids in the class and the bad kids in the class. And it seemed like I always got paired up with the bad kids. But Anyways, we were doing math, and we had like 20 problems maybe. This was in 5th grade, I think, and we're doing math problems, and I noticed I was the only one who was actually working, and he would just agree with whatever my answer was. So here's what happened. I would get done with the problem. I'd be like, all right, the answer is, B. And of course, it wasn't B, and I knew it wasn't B, but he didn't. So I went through the problem. I went through the whole like homework thing. I gave him like 5 wrong answers on purpose just because it wasn't working. And man, I just remember that today. I still know who it is, who I did that to, but it was just.
Was there any sort of like follow up for that incident, or
No, they didn't notice, or
Really?
like, no. I mean, if you're not doing the work, you're just writing down the right answer in
Right.
quotes. You don't know anything's wrong, and he wasn't like the best kid, so it wasn't like he was gonna fact check his homework and be like, "Wait a second, you told me the wrong answer."
Right.
But I also had another kid. So this one kid, he wasn't the fan favorite in the class. He was always the one not getting in trouble for being like too loud or whatever, but he was just straight up weird. Anyways, in the 3rd grade, he cheated on one of our tests. Did you have Neos at all? They were like little,
Like the little egg thing, like.
no, they were like a keyboard
Neos.
with a little.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it
And like
just
they
had a
would
little
like
tiny
connect
screen.
to like the whiteboard or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
And we
yeah.
thought those things were crazy.
Yeah. Anyways, he
Yeah.
had the book open cheating, and then he got caught for that. And speed ahead, 8th grade, same situation, except this time we're in religion class, and we had to like memorize prayers, and we would have to either recite them or write them down.
Yeah, us too.
And so this guy was cheating with the Bible. He had the Bible open on his lap,
That is
writing.
like some sort of sin for sure.
That's next level. It's just to the day. I mean, I just saw him do this, and I was like, I'm not a snitch, but like, he's cheating with the Bible. I gotta tell. I walked up, I did my prayer, aced it, of course, and I'm like, hey, can I talk down the hall for a second? This guy, yeah, he's cheating on the test with the Bible. He's got it open in his desk, and you slide it out, and man, gosh, just.
Oh yeah.
Cheats on a
And
prayer.
the slide out desks too.
Yeah, so we had like a couple of different kind of desks as you went from class to class. They just kind of changed, but some of them you had the desk that hinged and they opened and they had a little compartment. Some of them they didn't
They were
hinge,
just
but they had they're
in the
open.
front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then your standard just table with nothing.
Right. Yeah. And then once you like get older, you actually start moving through classrooms.
Yeah. Did you have like we only had one class? The whole group would move from one place to the next. Is that the same thing? Okay.
For most classes, I think that there was. Oh, I actually remember there was like an elective. There was one elective, and it was Spanish 1. And I
You
remember.
just had to take Spanish.
Yeah, pretty much. Or you could have like a study hall or something like that. But I did the Spanish class, and there was also like split math classes for like different like levels of math.
Right. Well,
and
yeah, I
stuff.
guess math, but I wouldn't call that like you get to choose. It's just like you're all in the same room. One person, like half of the group is learning X math, the other one is learning Y math.
Yeah, pretty much. We got so close with these teachers, I don't know necessarily about you.
Yeah. I mean, there's only like, well, I graduated 8th grade with 3 other people, and they were all
3?
dudes. Yeah, it
Are
was
you
just
serious?
4 of us total, and the class below us had 3 people total. And so we
What?
combined with 7th and 8th grade, and so there's a total of 7 dudes just going to each class.
So you had 7 people in your whole grade.
Well, if
Or
we're gonna
not
count
7, sorry,
4
3,
in my whole grade,
4.
7, 7th and 8th grade combined.
I can't believe that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That is a tiny school. I thought mine was small. I had like 30 people.
we had I think 32 in kindergarten, and
Everybody
usually
just slowly-
around middle schoolish, kids would go to the public school, and that's what happened. Like they were dropping like flies. 32 in kindergarten, and it just only went down.
How'd you feel about that?
I guess I didn't really know of anything else. I didn't know of
Would you have preferred more people graduating with you in 8th grade, or did you not really mind?
I would probably say so. The grade above me had like 10 or like 15 people, so it was kind of more normal for 7th grade because it was always 7th and 8th grade were combined, and
Right.
5th and 6th, and then almost down to like kindergarten first, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I actually forgot about that. We used to like have like joint classes, like half like 7th graders, half 8th graders. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just like the whole group was mashed together, and it would go back and forth. You would either be learning,
Every other year.
like say you have 7th and 8th graders, and this is how it started. It was like the 7th and 8th graders would learn the 8th grade curriculum,
Right, and then
the next year
you learn the
you'd-
7th
yeah.
grade. Yeah. Yep.
So it was like some reverse action
Yeah.
here.
That was
Um,
crazy. I remember that, and I was like, "Whoa, that's kind of
Yeah,
a little insane."
it's kind of weird because you get the harder stuff, but it's really all
yeah. If there's
No
no
big deal.
prerequisite, it's really not like
right. Yeah. You're just like for history, you're just
Yeah.
like learning about this thing now
Right.
versus that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I remember that being a big thing, and like I remember the class above us would have a lot of problems, I think,
Yeah.
and then our class like didn't have many problems, I believe. And
Our
it,
class
like,
didn't have any problems, but we didn't have any people. But the class
On your
below us, they were all the problem kids, and there's only 3 of them. It was amazing.
So how would these classes go? There's just 4 desks sitting in a classroom, and you just walk in. Like,
Well, because so there was like 3 stories in our school. The basement has the preschoolers. The like main floor has has kindergarten through 4th grade.
elementary.
Yeah, and then 5th grade through 8th grade was up top. And so you'd have classrooms, like you go from one class to the next, and they'd have to share everything. So there was
Yeah.
like 16 desks total, maybe like 20, maybe 20 desks in the room. And so all 70 of us would sit down, and then we'd learn, and we'd always pick the desks in the far back. But yeah, we all 7 of us would move to the next room. And
How laid back were your teachers compared to high school? Do you want me to give you like an example? Of what I
yeah,
mean?
sure.
Okay, so we had this one teacher, and we thought this was crazy. He was only there for 1 year because he got fired for like some like weird stuff, and he would let us have like a snack in class. And I don't necessarily know about your high school experience, but we could take out food pretty much whenever we wanted and just start eating.
I would say,
We thought that was really cool.
yeah, I had a couple of classes in middle school that were like that, where like the teacher wouldn't care, but then other teachers were like really strict about it, like there's no food in here. But and then in high school, it started out being like you can have food wherever you want, and then I think by the time I was like a junior or senior, maybe it was just teacher specific. But yeah, I don't know, it wasn't strict. I guess maybe in middle school my teachers were more laid back, only because there was 7 of us, so
Right, a little bit easier to
yeah.
control, I suppose.
But looking back at punishments, I'm not sure what happened from like 2nd grade to 5th grade, but like starting 5th or 6th grade, we had pink slips. And so what would happen is if you got in trouble, the teacher would give you a pink slip, and if you got X amount of pink slips, you'd go to the principal or whatever. And I talked my way out of one, actually. So apparently one of my friends thought we were like bullying him, which I don't know exactly what was happening. We could have just been joking
Just
around.
being a sensitive kid, probably.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, but the teacher was like, "Should I give you a pink slip?" And I was like, "No, I don't think. I'll apologize. I don't think it's really worth a pink slip." Man, I was so scared. I was like, "I do not want to get a pink slip here," because only the bad kids got the pink slips. I wasn't a bad guy, But,
This one time, and I just thought of this when you started telling me about that stuff. This same teacher who would let us have snacks was kind of a nut. He was a little bit crazy, and he didn't necessarily exude or exhume or whatever dominance, we'll say.
Okay.
Partially because of his size. He wasn't a very big dude. Maybe like 5'5", a little bit shorter than that. And he had like a New York accent, and he was kind of like laid back in a weird way. So the way his class would work, and he taught math and history, he would literally just put slides up on the screen, read them off to us, explain a little bit further, and then go on. And anything you wrote down in your notebook, you could have on the test.
Wow.
So that class
Was he your
was
gym
pretty.
teacher also?
No, but he could have done a good job at that too, I think. But there were a couple incidences where he would not control the class very well, we'll say.
Oh, gosh.
For example, this one time he had left with the first slide of his presentation open, and one of the more troublesome kids went up and like started typing stuff into it. And he didn't notice until he got to it, and he was not very happy with that.
Yikes.
There was another time, and this was a pretty funny moment for me. The whole class was God, this sounds so bad. We were like questioning him about his his credibility as a teacher. So we were like, wait, so you have like a math background, like that was like his degree or something, and he's teaching us history, and we're like, so you're not even qualified to teach us history?
Oh my gosh.
And I must have been like leading the charge a little bit on this because he looks at me and he goes, you know what, why don't you go down to the principal's office and ask her?
Yikes.
And immediately my expression just changes. I'm like, I'm sorry, that's my bad. And he's like no, go. I'm like, all right.
You're a big tough guy until you get sent to the principal.
But here's the funny part. I get down there and I'm talking to the principal. She was like, why'd you come down? And
You're just crying?
no.
Oh,
no.
man, I would cry.
Mr. Moon, the name of the teacher was Mr. M, and he sent me down here because he wants me to ask you why he's allowed to teach this class. And she explains it to me, and then after this conversation is over, she says, you know what, Ethan, you're just doing a great job this year, and I'm really proud of you. You should just keep it up.
That's a principal move right there.
And I was just like, what? I got sent down here to get yelled at, and this is how it's going. And that was just like,
Talk about an Uno reverse card.
honestly, I was very shocked at that. And I walk back into the classroom and I'm smiling.
Cheek to cheek, you're like,
Yeah.
guess what?
And I was just like, let's just continue with the class. That was, and I forgot about this, but my like main teacher for my 8th grade year, like my homeroom.
Yeah,
we had
we had a homeroom.
She taught my father as well.
Wow.
Yeah, he went to this school too. So that was pretty cool.
Well, my driving teacher, or not driver's ed, but like to do my road tests. No, not road test. Well,
Behind the wheels.
behind the wheel, yes.
Yeah.
It was the same dude as my dad.
Really?
Yeah.
How old was this guy then?
This old.
65?
Like his car smells bad.
He's got like some
he's
like
kinda
some
larger.
pheromones going on.
Yeah.
He's a stinky guy.
But so I don't know. Did you have iReady? Do you remember that?
iReady?
Okay, it was this. It's built. It's made for kids. It's
It
like
sounds very kind.
it's like this program where you learn this lesson, and at the end of it you take like a quiz, and if you don't get the quiz right, you have to watch the whole lesson again. And these range from like 30 minutes to an hour, and they had like really cheesy characters like Pepper Jackie and I have no idea the other ones. I remember Pepper Jackie because it was just annoying. Anyways, so this iReady program, it's great for like younger kids, but when you're in 8th grade and this Pepper Jackie lady is talking to you like as if you're 5 years old, you just get kind of annoyed.
Right.
And so I'm very tactical, right? I'm not going to show how mad I am at this system like to the teacher, but here's what happened. At the end of the year, there would always be this placement test, and it wasn't really for you. It was more of to show like all the parents and everything how good your grade is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, I don't remember this, but apparently I purposely threw the test, and I like butchered it completely, and I got like super wrong answers, and apparently I got somebody else to do it So
What do you mean apparently? You don't remember this? This
I-
seems like a pretty serious
I personally
situation.
don't remember like choosing to do the wrong things. Maybe I just wasn't very smart. Who knows? But I got another person to do it, I guess. And so at this like parent teacher conference meeting, whatever, they were like, all right, so the kindergartners have this kind of grade, this is really good, and then they get all the way up to 7th and 8th grade, and they're like, unfortunately we're unable to show the data. There was like a malfunction or whatever. And so because of me, like the middle schoolers didn't have to do iReady anymore. So I was
Really?
kind of pro.
Wow, that's impressive.
So yeah, that's a lesson to everybody out there. You know, if you don't want to do something, just kind of skew your data.
There you go. Just lie to people. That sounds great.
But do it in a tactical fashion.
Right. Yeah. And on that note, I think we've hit our time limit here. You know, we're
Yeah,
sitting at what, 40
this was going to be
minutes?
a long one, I think.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, or fortunately.
Or fortunately, I don't know. We've got a lot of good content here, I feel. Thank you so much for listening. Daniel's going to play a little tune to send you off here, and we'll see you later. That was great.
Thank you.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening.
What is...
What's the
Oh my
procedure,
goodness.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Oh my
god.
god.
That is so scary that's
Oh,
happening. What,
Jesus.
you might ask you, Daniel, what is happening?
Podcast number 4.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to podcast number 4. Today I'm your host, as always, along with Daniel.
Yep. Here we are.
So, you know, what's new? It's been a solid 2 days since this last one went up, and I feel like we really